That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh my gosh. The more things stay the same, the more they change. And I apologize. The more complex the program on which I run the John Morgan Show becomes on my computer, the more I have to watch out for it all. Jason McBride, good to see you, my friend. I appreciate you. I am glad that you're here. Hopefully, we'll get Beth back in just a moment. And anybody else that happens to be tuning in at this particular moment, I am excited about the fall of this year because I have some wonderful travels just ahead, all within the continental United States of America. My international travels may be complete. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be allowed to travel internationally. We shall see. It just depends on how things go in the future. The world is changing, but the more the world changes, the more human nature remains the same. And I'm so glad that if I want to learn about human nature, I don't have to look any further than the Word of God. And just look around me at how people behave and how people respond and how people react. It's so fun. And I have a wonderful, wonderful fall and early winter lined up of speaking appearances. And I'm looking forward to being over the next few days in LaGrange, Texas, in Lafayette County, Texas. And if you happen to live in LaGrange or in Lafayette County, or as I like to call it, La La Land. See what I did there? LaGrange, yeah. Come out and see me at the Lafayette County Fair because I'll be making some appearances there over the next few days and can't wait to see you. It's going to be a blast. We'll see you. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. And then it's off to Salt Lake City where I get to perform at another wonderful state fair in the potato capital of the United States, Idaho. That's right, Idaho, the place where many, many potatoes are grown. Many of them came over, well, the potatoes themselves probably started with some plants that came over with people that came over from Ireland after the great potato famine there, and a lot of people actually lost their lives. But now they are flourishing, and it's wonderful to be with a bunch of great people in Idaho. I'm looking forward to being with you there. And if you are from Blackfoot, Idaho, then look to see the presidents on your stage. It's going to be so fantastic. You're not going to believe it. It's going to be wonderful. I can't wait to be in La La Land, Lafayette County, LaGrange, where I'll be, I was going to say looking for Bush, but you know what I'm saying. I know you know what I'm talking about. George W. Did somebody call me? George W. Is somebody looking for me? Yes. Somebody looking for W? I'm right here. I didn't dun 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 didn't do. Yeah, I love being around people. I love rubbing shoulders with folks, talking with them about the things that are important to their lives, and having the opportunity to, in some small way, entertain them, help them to forget about their troubles, help them to forget for a few minutes about everything that is just terrorizing this world, and to bring some peace and perspective into people's lives while performing some wild and crazy comedy. So fun. I can't be grateful enough for the unusual role God has carved out for me. It's so much fun. Mark, good to see you. My friend Mark Craig, oh my goodness, welcome. And producer Steven Zambo, the great Zambini. It's awesome to have you on the show as well. And Mark, Steve, I have to tell you, that little matter that we have talked about, I will be taking it up while I'm on this trip. And so I'm very excited. I've had some deadlines that were upon me, and last night a huge weight was lifted off of my shoulders as I had a chance to debut in the worship team at Church in the Sun, where I and my beautiful bride Kathy attend church. And I have this awesome pedal board called Helix by I got it at Sweetwater. I forget who makes it all of a sudden. Line 6. That's right, Line 6. George W. on Line 6. And it's amazing. It can reproduce the sound of Marshall amps, of Fender amps, of any kind of tube amp. And it also, any kind of pedals, foot pedals, wah-wah, fuzz, it does it all. Plus all kinds of these amazing ethereal sound that sounds like a flutter of angels entered the room. And so I got a chance to debut in the worship team, but there was this huge learning curve because my bride, Kathy, got me the pedal for my birthday, August 6th, or shortly thereafter, because as she said, you're not a young guy. You're walking onto that stage. I don't want you to look like the redheaded stepchild. So she bought me the latest, greatest gear, and I was so great. She got me some awesome in-ear headphones. She really set me up big time. But then the rest was up to me. I had to work and work and work to get those songs under my belt. Because at Church in the Sun, you don't get to have a notebook in front of you with your music. You don't get to have cheat sheets. You have to memorize everything. So I had to dust off the old gray matter and, get some of that stuff under my belt. And I must say, I think it went well. It didn't go perfect. There were a few things I can point to that were errors that in the minds of others probably went unnoticed, but in my mind are this big. And they make me want to quit, but I'm not going to because I feel like this is something God wants me to do, and I'm all in. I'm all in. Whatever I decide to do, I'm all in. That's the way I want to live my life. Why? Because one day we will stand before the judgment seat of Christ, and every single thing we do is going to stand the test of scrutiny. And I want to have done my best. I want to have done my best. Oh, how I want that. When I rise every morning. Here's the thing. To me, one of the keys is don't get snide about it. Don't get cocky. Don't get overconfident. Don't get in a place where you think, I'm doing my best. I'm doing better than you. I'm doing better than all the rest. No. Stay dependent. See, a supernatural life is a life through which God flows, like water, like wind. So you have to stay yielded, like a Y is like a funnel. I like that. And I need God. So in the morning, when I first rise, I'm loving on God. I'm telling him how much I appreciate everything that he does. I jump into his word and I pray and ask for his help, for his intervention. I ask him to spare me from my own proclivity to do wrong and to guide me into doing right. And honestly, as far as I know, I'm not stinking up the place, spiritually speaking. And that just makes me feel so good to have that attitude. Where did I get it from? Oh, God is so kind to me. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he came and drew me up out of the muck and the mire. Have you ever stuck your foot into muck? Like pure muck that go, and your foot goes down like 4 or 5 inches, and then when you pull it out, it makes this giant sucking sound like that. That was my life before God. I was stuck in the muck and the mire, or as they say in the movie Princess Bride, the pit of despair. bear. Don't even try to escape. But I did escape because God heard my cry. And he pulled me out. Woo! He set my feet upon a rock and put a hymn of praise in my mouth. Yeah. Many will see and fear and put their trust in the Lord. That's what it says in Psalm 40. And that's what I'm living for. So I get a chance to take all that, plus whatever else God wants to put in there, whatever else he wants to take out, however he wants to correct me, whatever he wants to do to change me. See, that's the beautiful thing also. Live yielded. Trust God. Here's a clue. He's never been wrong. Never! He's never once been wrong. Have you ever argued with him? You ever find? Of course you have. We all have. But God, never start a sentence with but God, because it's not going to end well for your opinion. Anytime you find yourself arguing with God, yeah, guess who's wrong? Yeah, it ain't God. It ain't God. Job found that out. But, as I mentioned this morning, the second half of Job's life was a gigantic, enormous reward, and nobody ever talks about that. I mean, all you hear when you think about Job, I don't want to read that book. I don't want to read that book. What if I wound up being, slaughtered like Job was? Hey, if you were to ask Job now if it was worth it, he would say, of course it was. Of course it was. He wouldn't want to go through it again, and neither would I, and neither do I. But I trust God. I trust him. I trust that he has a plan in Afghanistan. Ooh, there's a song there. There's a song right there. You could look at what's going on in the Middle East and think God is dead. Did you hear me? You could look at what's going on at the cockamamie things or even malicious things that our administration has done with regard to Afghanistan and think that God doesn't see or that he doesn't care. Mark, thank you. You're a good man, Mark. Mark Craig just said everybody needs to read War on Fear. I'll tell you what, we do. We do need to read War on Fear. Not because it's my book, but because it'll give you perspective. I mean, we do not know what the enemy has planned, but we know what God thinks about whatever the enemy has planned. Here's something that'll give you some peace. And please listen hard or listen, fully. The enemy operates from a leash. He cannot do more than God allows him to do. Jesus told his disciples, and they were all martyred. Not saying that you're all going to be martyred or that I am. Not saying that at all. But the point is, none of them regret their lives. None of them regret the way they gave themselves to the gospel. They lived with utter joy. Paul, from a prison cell, wrote, "Count it all joy whenever you suffer various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance, and let endurance have its completed work, that you might be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." Faith, when it is tested, comes out like pure gold. Jesus said, in this world, you'll have tribulations. But don't stop there. Don't read the first 38 chapters of Job and not finish the book. Here's the point to the book of Job. God rewarded him. And here's the point to the do not be afraid, for I have overcome the world. Jesus said, the devil has come to kill and steal and destroy, but don't stop there. That's only the first half. What movie is complete without the hero's victory at the end. Yeah. What if you watched the first half of Die Hard and then walked out of the theater? You'd think, what a depressing movie. You have to be there for the, giddy up or whatever it is he says. But be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world, Jesus says. I have overcome the world. The thief comes to kill and steal and destroy. But I have come that they might have life and have it to the full. Full life. A God-breathed life. An energetic, overflowing, effervescent, awesome life. That's God's plan for you. And nobody can thwart it but you. If you listen and stop listening at the first half of the verse. Don't do that. That's the enemy's plan. That's his plan. That's his goal, is to make you afraid. The enemy has absolutely no power over you. He's a demonic spirit. He doesn't even have a body. He's just a ghoul. But he does have the ability to whisper crap in your ear. He has the ability to whisper cesspool, garbage, poo-poo, caca in your ear. And it's your choice to believe it or not. I say this in my book, fear is faith in the wrong thing, which of course isn't faith at all, it's unbelief. So let me encourage you. God is faithful. He's never been wrong. He's never been late. He's never abandoned anyone. He's been with you every moment of your life. He's walked with you through the hurt, the abuse, the hardship, the breakups, the disappointments. He catches our tears and saves them. If I could save tears in a bottle, his bottle would be pretty big for me, because when I was growing up, I was a wuss. You could make me cry just by saying, "You're going to cry, John Morgan." And then I'd say, "No, I'm not." And then I'd cry. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to fear less what people think of me and have more fear of the Lord. And that doesn't mean I'm afraid of him. It means I know who he is. He breathed out this world with a word. He created it. If you want a description of who he is, read the last chapter of the book of Job and be in awe. Happy Friday, everybody. Oh, happy Thursday. Sorry about that. I don't know where I'm going to be in Texas, Lord willing, tomorrow afternoon. So I may not be on the show. If I don't get to do it at 5, I will try to do it at some point. So hold it loosely. So I will say happy weekend in the event that I don't see you tomorrow. Jason, Brandon, Stephen, Mark, Beth, Elisa, all my regulars. And I will take a moment to publicly say I miss you, Janice. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm doing it. I miss you, Dale Lee, my good friend. I pondered Dale today. I pondered him. What a life. Bill Clinton impersonator. Typical Northeasterner, Midwesterner. He told you what he thought, and he never stopped to think about what you thought about what he thought. Holly, good to see you. I mean, he spared no adjectives. I'm not saying that was what I would do or what I think he should have done, but that was Dale. But he loved God. And now he loves him even more because he's more alive than ever on the other side of the veil. And so is Janice, my sister. And so are your dear departed Christian loved ones. Make that distinction. It's an important one. Well, I agree with Mark. I think everybody should get a copy of War on Fear. Do you know someone? I was just talking with a friend who just got her third booster. But, I love her. But the poor thing, God bless you if you're on. I can see the fear. And I want you to live fearless. I want you to be fearless. War on Fear can help. Just go to waronfearbook.com and pick up your copy. I'll autograph it. And if you know of somebody that needs it, pick it up, read it, then pass it along. If you want, I'll even autograph it to your friend. There's a place in there where you can tell me how you want me to autograph the book. $19.95 plus shipping. Hope you'll grab it. waronfearbook.com. Have an incredibly wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you tomorrow morning on on Pray for America. She needs it. God bless you guys. Mark, thank you for your endorsement. And God bless America.